staying on topic, tell me about your time in Palestine.
Man, I was in Palestine in 2017, and I went there with a group of radical, like, black artists, activists, poets, just in solidarity with the Palestinian people. And I was studying deeply. I was all through the West Bank. It was a much different time. It was just crazy to say, but comparatively, it was a super peaceful time, you know, when you could just ride through the West Bank. You couldn't go to Gaza. You know, you needed special clearance for that already, obviously. But, yeah, you could just kind of peruse through the West Bank. I mean, it was still incredibly tense and very violent, you know, like wild checkpoints everywhere you go. Just like military rule, you know, martial law in every corner of the place, but you could still travel, you know, freely as an American. Palestinians cannot travel freely at all, you know. They got to sneak in, sneak out. As an American, that was interesting because it's like your American passport. It was one of the first times I really, really recognized my privilege, you know? Like, I think about that a lot at this moment, too. It's like, for all of the immense shortcomings of the American experience, you know, and all the oppressions and genocides and historic forms of control and mass murder and, you know, mass detention and mass incarceration, all that shit, it is really a fucking privilege to be born in this space and time, to be in America. It just is, you know, and I have to come to terms with that shit, because there obviously are those moments when it doesn't feel like a privilege, and it's not a privilege for everybody. Somebody that's been in the belly of the beast locked up for the last 27 years
right,
is not privileged by being born an American, you know. Had you been in Ghana and like never been extracted to build America, then the idea of you being incarcerated for 30 years wouldn't even really be a possibility, and the circumstances that led to your incarceration wouldn't have happened. But for me, somebody that is able to have like immense fucking luxury, and I can get on my phone and order food from any corner of the planet, like I could just Amazon anything I could ever possibly want, you know what I mean? I can have it at my fingertips. Man, that shit is a massive privilege. And it's like I feel like the idea of privilege is a complex and nuanced reality that it also doesn't serve me to deny my privileges at all. You know, I gotta be grateful for them. I have to have gratitude that I have those privileges of being an American as well, you know, while working to hopefully change America for the better. And as the older I grow, the funnier that sounds, even coming out of my mouth, because it's like, how much do I believe it? It's waning, you know what I mean? So how much I care about, that's why I told you I don't read the news no more. I don't, you know, ideas about changing America for the better. Like, I don't know. But when I was there, man, like, my American passport made me the privileged class. And so I'm just watching people be, you know, abused, and like I'm just like chilling at the coffee shop because like I'm not the one anymore, you know. I'm not the one with the target. It's not like I'm not the nigga in this situation. So it was just surreal. Yeah.
What were the checkpoints like?
Checkpoints were dehumanizing. They were incredibly long.
How long are we talking?
I mean, like, it just was up to the whim of whoever was working at the checkpoint. So, like, you could get through in 10 minutes. You could wait 5 hours, you know. And it didn't matter whether you were just a commuter or an ambulance carrying a critical, like, patient. You know, you might just wait 5 hours and you might just die in that ambulance. That's just what it is. That's how it is to exist in a network of checkpoints. But the checkpoints themselves are obviously like a complex and overt system of control. Just to be like, man, freedom of movement. That's another thing that I just like meditate on in my gratitude in the morning. It's like the freedom to wake up and decide I want to go to LA, you know,
right.
I want to go to New York. I want to fucking go to Ghana. I want to go to Miami. I want to go to the coffee shop. I want to go across town, you know. And maybe halfway across town, I forgot that I'd left something at the house. I want to go home, and then I want to go back where I was going. Freedom of movement is such a privilege and such a blessing because so many people in so many places don't have it, you know. Obviously, living in that system of checkpoints, there's very little freedom of movement or not having resources, you know. Like my cousin recently made it to America from Ghana. He'd been trying to get here for the last 15 years probably. And it's just very difficult to get the visa. And he was at his wit's end, you know. It was like he wanted to fly into like Guatemala or some shit and walk through the fucking jungle to cross through Mexico on foot. And thank God he didn't do that shit and get ate by a tiger or some shit, because that shit really, or just get killed on the way. You know what I mean? I read a lot of stories about people like they have I guess India is experiencing like massive economic crisis right now, and so there's a huge influx of young Indians that are flying into South America, going on this like crash out mission, and just like one guy just gets killed and robbed and left by a riverbank, you know. Another one, you know, gets hung up at the Mexico-America border for like 3 years or some shit like that. That's what's going down, but it's so dire. And so the fact that like he was finally able to come here, it just makes me have to like reflect on being grateful that I can go like pretty much anywhere I want to at any time.
Wait, so what happened to your family member? What did he decide?
Oh, his wife got a scholarship to university in Illinois, or not Illinois, in Iowa, like Springfield, Iowa, some random fucking place, something like that, Missouri or some shit like that. And so he was able to come with her. You know, we just had to get him a flight. I think that's how it worked out.
So he's good.
Yeah, he's here.
He didn't get eaten by like.
No, he didn't get ate by a jaguar.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that.